Chapter 28. It is through the probabilities of acceptance of the material contained in these messages that the focus point of the change in mass consciousness is focused. The new paradigm of human experience is based upon a multifaceted campaign to assist mankind to bring about the much-needed completion of this phase of experience. If indeed what is called reincarnation is true, and if the Aboriginal tribe in Australia can request to be reincarnated on another planet, why isn't it possible for the genetically corrected portion of the transplanted segment of humanity to do this? The answer lies in the degree of knowledge lived into wisdom. Those particular people are well aware of their connection to creation and have learned to live in harmony with nature. They are watching their young people being seduced by modern technology, what they consider beliefs not lived into wisdom, and see their progress slipping away. Their beliefs and what is judged as a meager existence in the judgment of modern societies is to them wholeness and abundance lived in peace and harmony. It is a matter of perspective. The point is, where within religion-driven societies is progress in applying the basic universal laws? Where is harmony with nature and living in peace with one another in the modern technological society? Is it possible to ever learn those lessons within the focus of the centuries upon centuries of ongoing genetic and learned behavior? It does not appear so to those charged with the task of observing the process. So again, your brothers, sisters offer helping hands, for they truly care about you and desire to see you return to the family of evolving humanity. It is truly said of mankind on earth, if something doesn't work, they just seem to do more of it. Indeed, it is true that there are some of what you call aliens that are instigating your situation and fully cooperating with the dark planners on your planet. But they are closely related to the basic group of planners also through genetic addition. Is Earth the only planet out of balance? No, as it has been mentioned before, this segment of creation, this galaxy, that is the realm of focus included in these messages, experiences the expansiveness of the creative flow through the energetics of positive and negative experiences. Like disease in your bodies, a level of great imbalance can spread and thus a cure is sought. In the case of Earth, surgery is not the recommended cure. It is preferred that the holistic method of changing thoughts, attitudes, and opinions create a renewal and a new paradigm of experience. This would allow mankind to rejoin the creative flow through transcending this experience rather than stubbornly continuing on the wheel of repetition until they do complete the transition individually and collectively farther down the sequential time frame. The situation on this planet, as confusing as it is to comprehend, is as it is. It is important to grasp the reality and the seriousness of the consequences of its continuation, but the focus of importance is on creating the change. It will not be found through continued observation of the imbalance, but in placing the focus on what is desired to replace it. There is no other way to move through it and into what is desired. Again, it is important to stress the need to accept that the belief systems now present within the mass awareness of the planet have not led humanity out of its dilemma. These have mired it more deeply than ever in the situation now, leading it to the lowest ebb yet of this human experience. If it hasn't worked in the past, and it doesn't work now, then it is time to accept that, open the belief system to different ideas and ponder their truth rather than reject them without consideration. When enough are reached and the truth of the above analysis is accepted, then the spread of the change out of victim consciousness will begin in earnest. At a particular exponential rate, the mass consciousness will accept this understanding, and at that point the simple bare-bones outline of the project will be advanced. The pivotal point is reached when the critical group in this focused thought is in harmony with the surrounding galactic environment, when it conforms to and within the universal laws, and becomes the intent of humanity. It is then that the victory is won. The victors will write the new scenario and, on request, advice is available to accomplish the manifestation of the new experience. Again, free will is the controlling factor. The advisors have available technology that surpasses any that is present on Earth. These can and will be shared, and abundant life will not mean tramping barefoot in the desert, unless the victors steadfastly choose that scenario. If mankind chooses to stubbornly remain within the present belief system and continue the current scenario, tramping barefoot in the desert will seem abundant indeed. Is the above meant as a threat? No, indeed. Simply how it is. Chapter 29. It is the responsibility of those accepting the information, knowledge contained within these messages to integrate it into the structure of their belief system. Simply put, that means to live it into wisdom by delivering the message to Garcia. Garcia is everyone who can and will receive the messages and in turn deliver the message of the new paradigm to more that will accept the mission. In this way, the expansive flow of creation is then at work laying the foundation for the new paradigm. Once the simple statement of purpose is conceptualized, it will rapidly reinforce the network that will then already be initialized. When the victim consciousness is transcended, the statement of purpose will lead individual and group awareness to the next level. Thus it must be as simple as the statement of I, we, they am, are, a, human, s, becoming, help me, us, them to become. What logically is the next level of awareness to be encompassed in order to arrive at the ability to conceptualize the skeletal format of the new paradigm? What words would empower the human consciousness to lift its lethargic self-awareness to resolutely desire to determine its own present and future individually and in unity? This simple powerful call to the infinite potentiality of creation that is at the magnetic center of the self-awareness of each human is waiting to be tapped. Ask the level of awareness that focuses creation through awareness at the level of the solar system, or even the galaxy. These do exist. Ask from a point of awareness beyond the victim consciousness and there will be an answer. Once awakened to itself, self-awareness desires and searches for channels through which to express. This potentiality has been perceived and exploited through techniques of manipulation by governmental and religious leaders of the past and present. A new paradigm must transcend this in order to be a new paradigm. It is not necessary to conceptualize the new paradigm in completeness to understand its purpose. Clearly delineating the purpose is the next logical step in the process. The mind filled with clutter doubts its ability to conceptualize something new amid the confusion that reigns. However, once the cause and intent of the confusion is perceived and the decision to release the victim stance is made, the clutter moves into the background. The awareness becomes intrigued as latent triggers are activated that intuitively bring to the conscious mind the desire for freedom to live a self-determined existence. It is important to comprehend that the center of self-awareness, that aspect of self that knows it exists, is the magnetic focus that attracts the body in all experience. It is a holographic microchip of creation. A holograph can be replicated from a tiny cell of the original. As the creation is to be venerated, respected, and held in the highest honor, so the self-awareness to be held in equal veneration, honor and respect. This magnet of energy is focused at conception and clothes itself in a body to experience, and when withdrawn, death of the body results. It is up to each to contemplate the creation and to shine the light of the understanding of it through this microchip of self-awareness outward by living life's experiences into wisdom. As this is done within the universal laws that do govern this process, the holograph of the creation is gradually expressed through each one to a greater and greater degree. It is creation thinking and through projected thought expanding and knowing itself. Creation is self-aware through its focused microchips mimicking its own process. As each self-aware living being grows through wisdom acquired, the experiences change in dimensional magnitude. To those who acquire much wisdom, much is required to continue the exponential growth. Living the creational adventure is much like reading a good mystery book. Once involved in the scenario, it is difficult to stop reading, and it is difficult to stop desiring to evolve. Once sidetracked, the urge to continue on in the process keeps pushing the awareness onward down the same path. Because of this impetus to keep on keeping on, there are those who volunteer to aid and assist their fellow aspects of creation to again find the open-ended track of experience. Creation is maintained and expands through volunteerism. That is how it is. Chapter 30. The evolvement of each focused self-awareness is dependent upon its ability to process the knowledge available into and through its flow of experience. The influence of those entities around it, that believe certain truths and experiences are the truth or ultimate experience, leads to entrapment and endless dead-end ventures. The ability to experience knowledge acquired and experienced into wisdom is like laying stepping stones on a path. When an understanding is complete, then it is necessary to acquire the material to complete the next stepping stone. It cannot be done with exactly the same knowledge as the last one. It must include new material, knowledge. There may or may not be a bridge between what has been learned and the subsequent new information. New concepts may contain essences of more than one stepping stone. It is this apt analogy that has led to the idea that evolvement equates to a spiritual path. The significant perception of the visualization of this path is the understanding that the stones must be present and laid one by one before there can be a path. Further and important is the concept that the path lies not before each traveler, but behind him, her. It is rare that the path behind any evolving awareness is a smooth upward spiral. The acquisition of knowledge and experiencing it into understanding and releasing it as complete and then opening to begin the process again does not usually lead easily to the ultimate goal. The conceptualization of that goal is literally too incomprehensible to be able to limit it into words. However, the magnetism of that goal draws all ultimately to return to it. There is no escaping its allure no matter how crooked the path of wisdom is laid in the process of the return. The view of the path of humanity on this planet as a whole over the past several thousands of years would find it curling abruptly into a circle. Mankind has continued to march around and around that circle with few able to intuit their way out of it and to continue their evolvement. That circle now is a spiral downward as the recent human experience is being led into the lower vibrational activities of greater and greater violence and denigration of the body and awareness. The foundations of family and personal integrity are visually and audibly assaulted with dogma of truly evil intent. It must be remembered that the altered humans conceived religion for the worthwhile purpose of preventing self-annihilation. Its original intent and purpose was not to provide the path to evolvement. It did, however, contain and retain some of the teachings of the benevolent visitors. There have also been not-so-benevolent visitors who have observed the religious process as a field of opportunity to promote their own agenda of retaliation and revenge. By infiltrating and slowly developing their strategies, the true teachings have been deliberately adulterated and used to promote the circle brought about by the genetic alteration and to turn it into a downward spiral. It is the purpose of these messages to set forth the truth of the dilemma of humanity and to put forth some of the essentials of its knowable cosmology. The messages contain the elements of a workable plan to allow mankind to create for itself the opportunity to leave the downward spiral path that has resulted from not only the genetic alteration, but from their stubborn refusals to accept the proffered help. This stubborn refusal to let go of the old and continue their victim stance has allowed them to fall prey to those who take advantage of that level of consciousness. The portion of the population that was drawn to and has intermingled with the not-so-benevolent interplanetary visitors at the moment has the upper hand. First, enough humans must awaken to the situation set to overwhelm them. Second, enough must consider the possibility of the truths offered within these messages. Third, enough must have the courage to discern these truths and follow the suggestions. These shall then guide their fellow humans through this dangerous situation to the new paradigm and the return to the galactic family. Then Earth's people shall be welcomed throughout creation to walk and learn among their friends and to gather the material for the stones of their individual paths. The limited and frustrating existence that has been experienced has not been a total loss. The advantages that await shall be greatly appreciated. Each step as outlined is critical. Each requires courage both individually and as a combined focus. What is the most challenging is accepting the concept that there will not be an army gathered together physically to encourage one another. This will be accomplished by individuals that within their own focus faithfully commit and follow through daily by delineating their intentional desire for and resolve to move through the chaos to come. These will know in their hearts at an emotional level that does not waver that what is desired exists and is manifesting even now as the desire for it is embraced and being conceptualized. The miracle of the new paradigm will be a gathering of individual foci through their intent upon the same purposeful symbolic agreement. This cooperative focus will, through the law of attraction, acting through application of the law of intentional creation, bring forth the intended new experience. These with sure confidence will trust the process and allow it to happen. Then balance and harmony will reign. The truth of the presence and power of the universal laws, stimulated by the cooperative combined foci, will be demonstrated. Through this demonstration much will be experienced into wisdom earned and wisdom learned. Humanity will then stand on the stepping stone leading out of the downward spiral and find themselves facing the opportunity of creating new stones of wisdom for their paths within the new paradigm. End chapter 30.